right, time now for Top Talkers, and 'tis the season for giving, kind, random acts of kindness, and of course there's, little ones here and there that go unnoticed, but there's a couple that are happening right now in the States that are making news. One of them is a Missouri man posing as a Secret Santa. He's giving away $100,000, I think in $100 bills, to folks in New York and New Jersey who have been the victim of break-ins or theft, all kinds of bad luck after Hurricane Sandy. There's that story. Then there's also a story about a New York police officer who saw a man sitting outside of a store without any shoes on, a homeless man. The officer went into the store, bought the man a pair of winterized boots and thermal socks, not looking for anything in return, not looking for any kind of publicity about this, just doing something nice in the spirit of giving and helping. And a tourist caught it on camera, posted it to the internet. It's all over Facebook and all over the web now, and it's what we're talking about this morning. What do you think about something like this, Graham? Do we hear enough about these kind of things?
I think it's great. The cash thing, I don't think is great, and here's why.
Okay.
You go into a hurricane zone, you start handing out $1,000 bills. The word gets around, and it gets used for all sorts of things that doesn't help people directly. I'm sure he means well in his heart, and that's great. But when you start doing that, it can be counterproductive too. You can't. Hopefully he's doing it carefully, and people are like qualifying for it.
Right.
But for all of the faults of a bureaucracy and all the checks and balances that this kind of thing is designed to cut through, the reason there's checks and balances is so that people aren't, taking advantage of situations like this and spending the money on something else. In terms of the cop, I think it's great, fabulous. The guy had blisters on his feet, and it's one of those. I love the fact that there were no NYPD photographers around. It was just caught.
It was just
that's a moment
accidental
of truth.
almost in a way, Trish, what do you think about these stories?
A really heartwarming story for sure. And I think the unfortunate thing is so many times you see people on the street in need of food, warm clothing, and oftentimes people are just walking right on by, right? So when someone actually stops, it does make news. So maybe that's kind of the sad part there, is that someone helping someone else is, oh my gosh, this is amazing, when it should be a little more commonplace, maybe.
Dean, do you agree with Graham that what's going on with the Secret Santa, the Missouri businessman who's giving away, doling out cash? Do you think that's maybe not a smart idea?
The only thing I worry about is, and I witnessed this in the Dominican Republic and had a couple of years ago, one of the Major League Baseball pitchers, Bartolo Colon, if I'm not mistaken, was handing out tons of money at a gas station, and it became just a mob, and it just totally out of control. That probably won't happen maybe it could happen in New York, but you don't want to see something like that. And as far as the boots go, does that not set a precedent now for everybody that also needs boots to be hanging on the street corners waiting for a New York cop to come around? I don't know. So, but great deeds, but you wonder what it may cause.
Is this enough of this is done though? Or, I mean, these stories are not all the time. Every once in a while, you hear a story like this.
I think that we look the other way a lot. We all do it.
Are we just too skeptical?
No, I think. Look, I mean, I don't mind telling people I don't generally give change on the streets. I give to other charities because a lot of that money is going to addiction, right? They're going to go get a fix. They're going to go get alcohol, and that's not productive. Sometimes, for a recovering alcoholic or someone who's trying to get clean, and you're living on the streets, sometimes you need a drink to get you through the day, and then hopefully you get into recovery. So I understand their need to do that, but. So I think on the when he saw the basic need, I'm sure cops hear it all the time in New York City. Can I have some money for some food?
Right.
He sees them in bare feet and it's really cold. I don't know. I think you just take that as a really great moment.
We're often told, and what you do is what we're often told by police, not to hand out cash to a homeless person, because it is often used for drugs, sadly. But in terms of giving them something out of your lunch box, your lunch, bag,
going in and buying them a slice of pizza or something, right?
Anything
if
like
they're
that.
Hungry,
Have any of you ever done anything like that?
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that kind of a thing. Sure. And it's much appreciated. And I think that something like that, whether it's boots or food or a basic need on the street to someone who is in need, or a coat, solves that question we all have about cash, what it's going to be used for.
Right.
So I think that's what's going on. The other thing is the New York Police Department, as all police departments, are often vulnerable to accusations of mistreatment of the homeless. So there is a corporate initiative here. I'm not suggesting that this isn't real. It is real, but I'm sure the NYPD is thrilled with the image of what's gone on here, because oftentimes police are in a very negative light when it comes to this kind of an issue.
When it comes to dealing with the homeless.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why is it going worldwide? Partially because it's a cop.
All right, we're going to have to leave it on that. I tend to forget who to introduce my panel, so I'm going to do that at the end. I just get so excited to get into the topic, and we've got some a new joiner. Dean Roberts from the Team 1200 is now sitting in. Thanks for joining us, Dean.
My
of
pleasure.
course, everybody knows Trisha, and everybody knows Graham, Majic, CTV.
No problem.
And you're going to know our faces, so I think after time we won't have to introduce any of you.
Can I get a plug-in for Trish and I out at the Toys R Us on Hazeldean Road tomorrow?
Morning
Okay.
for Toy Mountain, very
Yes.
first drop-off
Good
day.
stuff. CTV personalities
supporting
out
that
as well?
I'm at Saint Laurent.
Okay,
Yeah,
good
there you
stuff.
go.
East End.